Welcome to the Northwest. My name is Dena and I'm a knitter, crocheter, yarn lover here in the Pacific Northwest. I live in a suburb of Tacoma, Washington, and this is my YouTube channel. And this is episode Welcome. I know it's been a while. Life has been lifing, and we're in the midst of moving, and we've got our house on the market and looking for houses, packing, cleaning. So it's been a bit. So I think the last time I uploaded a video was back in the end of May. Today is July 23rd, 2026. And so yeah, I want to just share with you about what I've been up to. So for the last couple of months, outside of preparing for moving and packing and all of that, my husband and I went on a cruise. We went on a trip to Mexico out of Los Angeles. We went on a Royal Caribbean cruise, and it was so much fun. If you guys have not been cruising, highly recommend. It was such a good time. I know it seems like you're like stuck on a boat, and it's just so I don't know, confining, but the ship is so big and vast, and there's so many things to do, and you have opportunities to go on excursions and things like that. So yeah, we are definitely cruising people now. I think we'll be doing more of those in the future. So much fun. Oh my goodness. When we got back from the cruise, my husband ended up with some health issues, and so we were in the hospital after that, dealing with that bit of a crisis. My grandbaby niece is currently in the hospital, trying to figure out some sort of possible blood disorder and all that. It's been a lot. Speaking of my grandbaby niece, I do want to talk about my first finished object. I don't have it with me because I took it to her yesterday. So hang on a second, let me get my phone to show you. All right, I've got a list in front of me and all my projects and whatnot over here. I worked on more projects that I'm going to be able to show you because they're all packed, and I left out a few for me to work on. So let me see if I can get my photos up. So my grandbaby niece has fallen in love with this little video short about this bee boxin blueberry, and just absolutely adored him. So my sister-in-law reached out and asked if I could make that. And I said, I think I can. So let me give that a try. So here is the finished object. I don't think I did too badly on that. Here was my first attempt with the eyes. It didn't come out so great. So I retried them with some different yarn, and it actually worked out better. Getting a bit blown out, but he is a little bit darker than that. So what I ended up doing was I went to YouTube, as one does when they want to make something, and I did find a blueberry crochet pattern by Maya Wilson, and so I made the base of the blueberry and put all that together, and then I used the Make Plushy Eyes That Melt Your Heart video by Spreeberry from YouTube and to make the eyes, and so that worked out really well. The yarn that I used is, for the blueberry part, I used Baby Bee Snugs and Kisses in the colorway Blueberry, and this is what I've got left from this giant skein of yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is, oh goodness, 148 yards in an 8-ounce ball. And it doesn't tell me the fiber content. Seriously? Oh yeah, 100% polyester. So perfect as a plushy yarn. So that worked out really well. For the eyes, I started using a thinner yarn, and I thought, well, okay, if I just do it enough times, it'll come out. And that's when I ended up with that first set of eyes that I didn't care for. So I went back to Hobby Lobby and I picked up some different plush yarn that was a bit thicker, and that worked out much better. And I picked up the Adorable in the color black. So this is the Baby Bee again. So color black, and then Angel white for the eyes. So that worked out really well to finish the eyes up, and create that really sweet plushie for her. So gifted it to her yesterday, and she was just tickled and super sweet about it. So, all right, the other finished object I want to share with you was, I was beginning to talk with you about this in May, and then I finished it. And that is the Bunny Lovey Parts and Pieces by Victoria Stewart. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. You basically put it together. So you end up with bits and pieces, and the bits and pieces are really for the head and the arms, and then you have to find a blanket pattern to go with it. It's getting really blown out, sorry. So that's her sitting there, and then that's her like hanging and dangling by an arm. So that was gifted to a friend at church who's having a baby girl. So that was my other one. And then I cannot remember if I finished my grid gang tee the last video, or if I was on the verge. Anyway, I did post on Instagram my finished object, but this turned out really amazing, and I've worn it a few times. I'm not wearing anything knit today because it's very warm here in the Tacoma area, but this is my grid gang tee. So it's basically a box structure with the slip stitch pattern, mosaic knitting at the bottom. I did do a purl bump to distinguish the difference between, you know, the pattern part and blank. And then I used the color changing yarn as just kind of like the racing strips down the sleeves and around the neck collar, and it just came out perfect. So this is my own pattern that I came with, just kind of meshing a couple of things together. And I like the fit, it's comfortable. And we'll probably make more of these in the future. So those are my finished objects. And let's talk about what I have close by as far as works in progress. So one I am on the verge of finishing. I thought I was done with it, but I tried it on and it needed to be longer. I didn't want it to be quite so cropped, so I'm adding to the length. And this is called the Linen Leaf Top. Let me get to Ravelry. So Linen Leaf Top by Elena Fedotova. It's hard to see, but it's just this beautiful textured pattern, and you crochet. So it's a really, really, really nice top. Isn't that cool? So when I was putting this together, my neckline was really big, and I don't like having a big neckline because then I feel like I'm fussing and fiddling with it. So I chose to do a knitted collar. And when I finished the collar and I tried it on, I realized it doesn't look right. The rest of the fabric being crocheted, it's denser, and then the knit neckline is very light and see-through. So I'm gonna pull it out, and what I think I'm gonna do is double the yarn and go back in and do the 1x1 rib again. But this is where we're at. So this is the Linen Leaf Top. This is just, the yarn is beautiful, and it's just gonna be just one of those bright, fun colored tops. But yeah, I see how the top is just very see-through and mesh-like, so I think doubling the yarn and redoing that neckline will work out really well. That's the nice thing about being able to do both knit and crochet, is that you can combine the two techniques together to get kind of the end object that you're looking for. But I like the length of the sleeves. I don't need to extend those. Just need to go probably another, probably 2 more inches at the bottom. So I'm very close. Definitely a finished object. it was a really good idea to block this part way through, because when I had finished the front panel, so you make the front panel, and then you go and you make the back panel, and then you sew them together. When I was done with the front panel, it just seemed so small. But when I blocked it, it was like, oh, good thing I did that, because otherwise I would have gone too big. I could have gone a little bit more to increase the body size. That would have given me a little bit more length as well, and made it a little bit more positive ease on the side. But I think it's going to turn out just fine. So I really like it. Now the yarn, I don't think I have the ball band, so let me look. The yarn is what I picked up out of a, yeah, I don't have it. I want to say it's yarn by Alexandra, hand-dyed yarn. She was at the Red Alder Fiber Festival, and I had picked it up, like 5 skeins of this various colored pink. It was in various shades, and it was in her clearance bin. And I thought, well, I'll just put these together, and then I will come up with a project that'll fade it. Instead, what I did is I did helical crocheting, I guess. You know, it's not really knitting, but so I just, as I went through, I held the 2 strands as I went, and you can certainly tell when I've changed yarns. For sure, it's definitely darker down here. There's a definite line, but I don't mind that. I think that's the beauty of, yeah, you can definitely see it here on the back. So that's the beauty of this yarn. So yeah, you can definitely see here where you have a stripe. Sorry about the lighting in here. Thought it would be a little bit better. So almost done, so close. The crochet hook size that I'm using, that's a good question. Should be on my Ravelry page. Let me go back and take a look. I'm using a 4.5 millimeter crocheted hook. And for the ribbing, I know I definitely went down a needle size to probably a 3.5, but don't quote me on that. Can't remember. So that is the linen leaf top. So I really enjoyed that. I made progress on the Northeasterly Blanket. In my last few videos, I kept saying that that was a free pattern. It's not a free pattern. It's patterned by Skenanigans. I don't have the object with me. It is definitely packed up, so I'll show you that the next time around. But I would like to show you, oh, the mango tea. So the last time I showed you the mango tea, I had just started. And I am really enjoying this project. So let me get it undone here to show you. So the last time I showed you, I was way up here. I had just barely gotten started and cast this on. The mango tea is a pattern by Beth MacDonald Stone. She has a YouTube channel as well. She's a knitwear designer, and I really enjoy her patterns. She puts out a video about every 2 weeks, and she'll have a featured pattern that will be discounted for those couple of weeks. So definitely worth watching and giving her patterns a try if you want something new. But I love her constructions and how she puts things together. So this one has this raglan detailing on the sleeves. It's really, really pretty. I didn't think I'd like it at first, but I think it's turning out okay in this yarn. It will bloom out a little bit as, not bloom, it will block out a little bit differently as I go. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Oh, so fun. But yeah, I definitely have a few more inches to go on the bottom. The pattern kind of shows it in various ways where you can attach your yarn and do various color things. Oh, let's talk about the yarn. Let's see if I have those ball bands. Wouldn't that be nice? Of course not. Okay, well, let me pull up my Ravelry page because I have been pretty good about keeping Ravelry updated. All right, projects, the mango tea. The reason why I gravitated to this pattern was that Beth MacDonald Stone was talking about how it's her favorite t-shirt, and it just happens to be one that she designed, and so that made me go, ooh, well, if she loves it so much, I should give it a try. I'm making the size 7, and I'm making it out of Madame Tricot Paris Oran Bayan Crystal. Quite the name. Colorway is 103. It's a real pink color. So that's the Madame Tricot Paris. And then the orangey color is just a Hobby Lobby hand dyed. I don't even know what the colorway is, but it's, oh, I do have it here. So Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed in the colorway Elysium Dusk. Actually, I think that's wrong because I changed the colors. On here it says it's pink and this is more orange. So this is definitely a different color than the Elysium Dusk. The Elysium Dusk is definitely a dusky pink rose. That's really pretty. I've had this in stash for a while and didn't have very much of it, so I thought it would work well for the striping of this. So yeah. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I looked at their hand dyed and they have really increased their prices. I was just like, what do you want? How much for your hand dyed? Anyway, so just letting you know. That and their yarn section has just gotten to be smaller and smaller over the years. That just kind of frustrates me a little bit because I used to have such a nice yarn section. But anyway, so that's the mango tea. I really like that pattern, and I'm using a 3.5 millimeter needle for that so far. Oh, I should probably show you the mango tea. So there's the mango tea. So she's got the different color at the neckline, and here I think I'm just going to keep it all the same color where it's that pink straight through rather than do the different color. Just because I really like that pink. I think it'll be pretty. But yeah, mango tea. And then she also has a full color version, so with no stripes. So you certainly can do whatever you like. Your world is your oyster. Oh, I keep going out of Ravelry. Okay. Next, let's talk about, oh, I don't have that with me, but, and I haven't made much progress on Edith the hat. That's a really fun color work hat that I was using with the Knitty McPurley July colorway. Yes. And it's a blue and a white, and it's really pretty, so it'll be fun. But I haven't made any progress on that one. The Moon Cat Shawl. So I have two of these as on my needles right now, but only one that I've been really working on seriously. And of course, it's not the one that I started so long ago, but a new one. I was eyeballing my yarn as it was sitting here and going, I really want to use up this stripy yarn that I picked up as I picked up from mini skeins from a person on Etsy. And I was looking at it going, oh, I really want to work on that yarn. I thought, you know what, that would look really good in a shawl with black yarn as kind of the accent. And so I did show this to you before, and I'm in the middle of a row, so this will be fun to show, but I did show this to you the last time I had worked on it. So here's where was the last time you saw it, and I've completed all of this. Anyway, so it's this stripy hand-dyed yarn, and so you can see how they've just kind of blended well together, and then I've ended with this last color sequence here. So it kind of balanced it well enough, but you know, this is going to be a fun shawl wrapped around your neck. You're not going to see a whole lot. No, I pulled out a whole bunch of stitches here. Now I'm just going to finish off the lacy part with the black, and I'll show you that here in a second. So let me pull up that pattern and show you. This is a really cool pattern as it gives you a bunch of techniques to try. I'm not a fan of lace, but I continue to push myself and try it. So this is the Moon Cat Shawl by Kelly McClure. So now I'm on this section here where it's black. It'll be all black, and it's a lace pattern. Let me see if they have it. Here you go. You can see it a little bit better in there. So yeah, I'm just about done with this one also. So getting there. So this has been a fun project. The black yarn is a yarn from Temu. I really do like how it's working up in the feel of it. Oh wait, yes I do. I do have a ball band. It's a real solid black. It's rustic feeling, but not scratchy. Would be fine next to skin, and it's called Wool Thread, delicate and soft, intimate warmth. First grade, fine wool, 90%, polyester 10%. And this is a 50-gram ball. It's probably backwards, but so the stripy colored yarn is like fingering weight, and this is really closer to a DK Sport, but it's working out really well together. I don't have a problem with mixing fibers and all of that together, so that's been just fine. All right, the Sun Dream Tee, did I bring that up? I did not. I am almost done with that one as well. That has been a fun project, but I don't have it with me. So I guess you'll see it as a finished object the next time around. But yeah, that one I'm really close to finishing. I've gotten to a point where I want to try it on and see where the length is, and then determine where I'm at. The pattern calls for a 1x1 rib. I want to do a folded hem because I think it would lay nicer as a t-shirt. And then I just need to finish the sleeves off. So I'm really close to finishing that one. Okay. The last project that I had started and showed you, and this was again just in the beginning stages, was the Olga jacket. So the Olga jacket is by Olga Putano Designs, and it's this really cool short row patchwork. Would be great with scrap yarn project, and it's been fun. The pockets drew me in. I think those are just the coolest pockets, and then the back was the other thing. Do we have a good picture of the back? Here we go. Kind of see the back there. So it looks like a quilt on the back. So it's really cool. It's been a fun project to learn from. I do not recommend this pattern right now. It seems to have a lot of kinks in it. I've had a couple of snags in the pattern itself where it just didn't quite make any sense. Like parts of it are really detailed in the pattern, and then other parts are kind of not quite finished yet. I'm not sure if she got good feedback from the testers or not. It just felt like it hasn't been tested enough. And there's been a lot of comments in the project pages. So this is definitely for someone who has knowledge of knitting and is comfortable with making adjustments when needed. So yeah, I've definitely hit a few snags. This is gonna be difficult to show you because I'm working on the neckband. And it's currently just crammed on the needles, but I have made quite a bit of progress on this because it's been fun and I've really enjoyed working on it. So here's where I'm at. So here's the back. And then up here you can see I'm working on the neckband. So this comes over like so. And then I've got the neckband here that I'm working on. So the neckband is one of the areas that I've struggled with. The pattern says to use 5 repeats of the 1x1 rib, and then as you continue to read, you realize that the goal is to fold that over to create a nice thick, double thick band. But then if I only did the 5 repeats, it doesn't give me as much fabric as I would like to do the fold over. So I'm gonna do it double the width. So instead of 5 repeats, I'm gonna do 10. And then fold over, and it should give me the width that I want, because this is about how thick I want it to be, and that's 6 repeats. So again, I'm not quite sure if it's me or the pattern. So, but yeah, I'd finished my 5 repeats and I had started doing the rest of it, and then was like, I don't quite think that's as long as I want it to be. And then I hit another snag in the pattern where the numbers just didn't add up. The numbers weren't making sense, and they were important for the remainder of the pattern. So I did reach out to the pattern designer and I asked her a question like, you know, what am I missing? Because you say to do this, but yet I'm not getting the same number count that you have. Even if I add up the numbers on her that are listed, they still don't match. And I never got a response. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna plug through and figure it out and use some math. And I did, and we'll see if it works out or not. I am using Hobby Lobby's Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK because this uses DK weight, and I really like this yarn. It's very soft. I want to say it's 100% acrylic, low pill acrylic, and I'm using the color Linen, Pumpkin. This is like Forest Rain. It's a green. The red is called Oxblood, and then the blue is called Peacock. So it's the pattern calls for 5 colors, and that's what I've done for that one. So yeah, I wouldn't at this point I wouldn't recommend the pattern just because I think it needs a little bit tweaking before people can feel more comfortable about doing that. I've made one other pattern of hers. It was a sweater, a colorwork sweater, and I really loved it. I loved making it. Let's see if I can find it. And I didn't have any problem with that pattern, and it came out really, really nice. It's one of my first colorwork patterns that I did. She's got a lot of great designs. It's gonna jump out and bite me here real soon. Here it is. It was called Untangled Crop. And it was really fun. I enjoyed that one. In the end though, it ended up being too big. After I'd worn it a few times, it was too big this way and it wasn't quite long enough or cropped enough to fit my needs. So I have since gifted that on to somewhere. All right. I have also started one other project, and that is called the Purlbreak Shawl. So if you remember, I was working on something that was using assigned pooling yarn, and I didn't really quite like how it was turning out in the knit version, so I tried it in a crochet version. I liked it better, but I didn't like the style of the crocheted shawl that I was making with it. So I ended up pulling it out, and I started making the Purlbreak Shawl by Stephen West. Unfortunately, I don't think my colors are contrasty enough. I think they're too close together, so I'm waiting on some other yarn to come through to determine where I'm at. Okay, here we go. So this is the Purlbreak Shawl by Stephen West, and it's just like the pattern says. It's all like knitting, and so far I'm just at the top portion here, just starting the striped color stripes, and I really enjoyed this. I liked the first bit of yarn that I was using. Oh, of course I'm in the middle of a row. That's because I was trying to decide about colors, but that's where I started, and this was a lot of fun too. But yeah, so here's the kind of variegated yarn I was using, and then here's that new yarn, and you can't really see the difference between the two. They're so close in color that I think I need definitely a different contrast color. So I stopped, and I'm kind of waiting for that new yarn to come through. I think I'm getting a green and a yellow. I can't remember what, so I'll have to keep my eyes peeled for that. But yeah, so far I really like how this is coming out. I like the shape of the shawl, and I think it's gonna work out beautifully. The yarn, that's gonna be a good question. So one of them is Ancient Arts yarn in their Socknado base, which is 80% superwash fine merino, and 20% nylon. This Socknado base is very plush. So if you use it for socks, you're gonna get plushier, thicker socks than you would if you used something a little bit finer. And the colorway on this is Ollie, Winter Flowers. And that's this section here. The blue yarn, I'm definitely gonna pull it out, so I won't bore you with the details on that, but we'll definitely fill you in when I get the new yarn through. But yeah, so a much shorter video vlog for you guys today. I did want to talk about my WIPS Smackdown. So I, at the last podcast, ended with 24. I'm still at 24 because I have not finished anything that I was currently working on. So still at 24. Actually, it says I frogged 2, so I should be at 22. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check my counts. So I frogged 2, and I don't know which 2 I frogged. As I was packing things up and kind of making decisions about what to do with the yarn stash and all my projects, I was like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna finish this. So I think I ended up frogging 2 more, which is a good thing, right? So the WIPS Smackdown was me looking at my unfinished objects since before the start of 2026. And I had started the year with 37. I'm down to 24, so I think that's pretty good. Now, how many have I added? I don't know, but I have been finishing things. I wanted to share Jen from Flasher Knits. She did, her last video was really fun to watch. I enjoy her content and what she creates, and she was talking about her 10 grievances she has with knitting, and I have to say I agreed with all 10 of them. So if you would like a good laugh and a good hoot, I would recommend go checking out her video. So that's Jen with Flasher Knits. And then Flock Fiber Festival is coming up. Hang on, let me make sure I get the right dates for you guys, and I am looking forward to going. So it's gonna be July 31st through August 2nd, and that is gonna be held in Seattle at the Convention Center. I went a couple years ago, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to going again this year and lingering a bit longer, trying to meet some people. So if you're going, please come find me. It'd be great to chat with you, see what you guys are up to and all that good stuff. Also, if you're in the Tacoma area and you'd like to carpool, send me an email. I would love to carpool. Any way to save on gas, and you could sit in the car and knit. I would be happy to drive. So you can email me at northwestknitter, spelled out 25@gmail.com. And those details will be in the description box below. So yeah, please reach out, let me know if you're going, and if you'd like to carpool, we could meet up at the Tacoma Dome. I think that would be a great place to kind of, a central location to meet as we drive up to Seattle. So let me know. Well, that keeps it short and sweet for this month or two. Definitely had more to show, but next time around, hopefully I'll be in a new home. And looking forward to just kind of taking this kind of weight off my shoulders of moving, and it's so stressful, isn't it? It's the reason why I haven't done it for quite some time. It's all good. It's all good. All right, well, it was nice chatting with you today. I hope to see you at Flock Fiber Festival, and if not, I'll catch you on the next time. Thank you. Bye.